Board. And Caroline is teaching us today about the TAYA method. And if you didn't know, the TAYA method is they ask, you answer. So I'll let Caroline take it away. Also, just shout out, Caroline is my grateful today because she took this lunch and learn when I was scrambling to find people to teach it. So thanks, Caroline.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted. All right, guys. Let me just go full screen here. Sorry, I don't know how to use a computer. Okay, I'm gonna get y'all out of the way so I can see what I need to see. So today I'm gonna be going over an introduction to They Ask You Answer, or the TAYA method, as we call it here at Shop Marketing Pros. If you've sat on a client kickoff call or sat in a class from us or you're involved in our marketing at all, you've probably heard us talk about TAYA or They Ask You Answer a lot. We also say endless customers a lot now. So there's a new version of TAYA. It was a book that's about endless customers. And today I'm going to be going over what it is, the pillars of it, what it looks like to implement it, and kind of give y'all an idea of what it looks like for us also implementing it right now. Because we are actively working on this for ourselves. It's one of our main marketing initiatives. With that, Taya, as I said, is a book. The first one was They Ask You Answer. It was a book by Marcus Sheridan, who's a big marketing guy. He used to have a pool company, and they started this idea of They Ask You Answer because they started answering in their online content a bunch of questions that people were asking specifically in regards to their pools. Like, do I want a pool liner or do I want a concrete pool? What color should my pool be? How much does a custom pool build cost? And things like that. As you know, if you've have a pool or you know somebody that has a pool, you probably know it's a lot of work and there's a lot of questions that go into it. So that's where it stemmed from. And now I think in the past 2 years or so, they've written a new version of this, which they skipped 2.0, and it's just straight up, they ask, you answer 3.0, which is endless customers. And the whole point of it is that it gives you the framework to build trust faster than your competitors, turn the trust into revenue, and keep doing that in a consistent and measurable way. The um, plan for it gets kind of everybody in the company aligned on one page rather than there being a marketing objective that nobody else is really involved in, because it's producing content and sharing our thought leadership, which y'all know we've been doing for longer than since we've been, you can quote unquote say, actively working on TAYA. Everybody is involved with it. Most people in this meeting have sat in a blog interview with me, a podcast with Brian, or have written blogs in the past. And that's kind of what it comes down to. So with TAYA and endless customers, the premise of this is that there are four pillars of a trusted brand. We know that there are pillars of trust signals for AI as well. We feel like we talk a lot about pillars or signals and trust. But with TAYA, with this idea of answering the questions clients are asking, customers are asking to become a client or understand your services, it is that you're saying what others won't say, showing what others aren't willing to show, selling in a way they're not willing to sell, and being more human than those are willing to be. So when we think about people in our industry, the other marketing agencies, it's about doing the things that they're not doing. And if y'all look at our content and all y'all can see, and you've seen some of our competitor content, you can see that we definitely do say, show, sell, and are more human than I think most of them, and are always looking to improve that. Going into each one of them, when it comes to saying what others aren't willing to say, that comes with mostly your written content, but it goes into your video content. And with your written content, there are five main categories of content, which are the big five. Those are cost and price, problems, versus and comparisons, reviews, and best in class. Again, if you've been paying attention to the S&P content in the past several months, you've probably seen blogs or videos or podcast episodes where we're going into topics like this. And so a quick blurb about each of them is that for cost and price, people want to know what they can expect to stay, what they can expect to pay, and what constitutes value. So with that, it's not just how much does it cost to run ads with you, Shop Marketing Pros. It's explaining why ads cost that much, why your budget suggestion is going to change based on your location and the depth of ads that you're running, why it costs that much to work with us versus how much it costs to work with other agencies, and how that value is derived from the cost, basically. Problems content goes into the drawbacks or the things that can go wrong with with a service or a product somebody is buying, whether it's specifically that product from you or that product or service in general. And on the next page, I do have some examples of each of these of content that we've done, so y'all will recognize it and it'll start making sense if it's not. Versus and comparisons is giving people two options, either vastly different or ones that are kind of similar, and just doing a comparison of them, or two or three things to let people know what is best, kind of have them self qualify themselves or self decide which service or product may be best for them. Reviews is going to be who is this a good fit for, your honest review of these different shop software companies or anything like that. Reviews are kind of a mix of problems and comparisons and best of class. So it can be very specific, but it's kind of a harder one to define. But ideally, it's just who is this good fit for? How do you know if this is the right thing for you? It's not just a client review, it's a content about a review of something. And then best in class is it as people, if y'all sit in the marketing L10, y'all know we just talked about a couple weeks ago adding in best marketing agency to one of our keywords to focus on that one because people are searching that. They're not just searching auto repair marketing agency, they're searching the best auto repair marketing agency. So the best in class is going over the best options for any services or any products within a related field. And here are some examples of content that we've created that match each of these. So when it comes to cost, we have our pricing pages, but we also have a blog about what auto repair shops should expect to invest in their marketing.
Lagging.
Okay. Haley's telling me I'm lagging, so trying to make sure y'all are good. You're laggy on my end. Okay. Some examples of this and content that we have written, specifically blog content that's been published past couple of months on the S&P site, are what auto repair shops should expect to invest in marketing and why. So it goes into not just what the cost is, but why the cost is what it is and what drives that cost up or down. What can go wrong with local services ads. Our ad team is probably chuckling themselves because y'all know that there are lots of things that can go wrong with the verification process, the setup, and just typical user error or ad company error that we may see. Versus and comparison one was comparing SEO versus AEO. We also have one comparing Google search ads versus Google local services ads. This is educating people, letting them know what the difference is and which one may be a better fit for them based on their goals. I pulled this Google LSA, what auto repair shops should need to know, as a reviews option, kind of, because we didn't have something super specific, but this one gives people a good overview of what LSAs are and what auto repair shops need to know about it, kind of like that good, the bad, the ugly, and letting them know what they need to know to make an informed decision about if that service should work for them. And lastly, a best of category is the best automotive marketing, the best aftermarket automotive conferences for you and your team to attend. And so this one wasn't super specific to marketing, but it's about the industry and it's something that's going to drive people in the industry to our website because we're giving them that information and becoming the authority on the topic. The next pillar of showing what others aren't willing to show comes to video content, and the TAYA endless customers method for this is, so you've got the 4 pillars of trust, the big 5, and now the selling 7. I just saw Anne's question. Is audio still cutting out for y'all?
It's in and out.
Okay.
It's fine on my end, Caroline.
Okay. Thanks, y'all. We're in the coffee shop, so I think there's not super great connection today. But the selling 7 are most often videos. And so you have your cost and price videos, your 80% videos, product and service videos, landing page videos, customer journey videos, bio videos, and claims we make videos. These are not ones that we have all of them done yet, because there's a lot of videos and a lot of content that goes with that. I've broke these into quarters. And so last quarter, we were working on cost and pricing videos where we have cost and pricing videos on all of our service pages, and the product and service videos. The 80% video is basically a big FAQ video that gets added into your sales process. Landing page videos are ones that will be on our lead generation pages or a book a discovery call page. Just letting people know why they're giving you this information, like their email and their phone number, what you are going to do with it, what you aren't going to do with it. Like we're not selling it to other companies so that they can spam their emails. Customer journey videos is like a customer testimonial, but just having a bit more intention in how it's planned out and having the customer say what we need them to say in the video, not their true experience with us, but in the words that make sense for the marketing side of it. Bio videos is for our team members, especially the team members that are in the sales facing area of the company or client facing area, to let people get to know, like, and trust them. And then the claims we make videos, basically saying everything that we say we do, all of the promises that we make are S&P process, the S&P promise. How do we stand behind those claims and how do we prove that we're actually getting those things done? Towards the end of this, I go over what like the roadmap looks like from TAYA. And so y'all will see, or those of y'all who are recording some of these videos have seen, we started working on it last quarter. There's more videos being worked on this quarter, and I'm breaking it up in rocks over the next several quarters to get them all done in a realistic timeline. Some examples of that are the ones we had done last quarter, which every service page and our pricing pages have a video on that page about the service, what it is, what the cost of it is, who's a good fit for it, who's a bad fit for it, and just some general information to add to our web pages. So here's our example from the SEO page and then from the pricing page. Next is selling in a way that others aren't willing to sell. Their stat is that 75% of buyers want a seller-free service. I think that in our industry that differs a bit, especially as we're selling a service and not a product. If you're buying supplements online, maybe, or clothes online, you don't necessarily need a seller involved in that. But when it comes to buying a service like marketing that's supposed to be personalized to your shop or your business, you need to kind of have that seller involvement. But what we do know is that when we have educated clients or educated potential customers coming into our leads pipeline and they have been able to take in some knowledge and some information and content themselves, they're better equipped to make a better decision about what marketing they need to be doing. And when they're better equipped to make that decision, they're probably choosing us. And so it works out in our favor. The way that you can sell in ways others aren't willing to sell is having self-service tools on your website, so that people can, like I've been saying, self-qualify, implement some things and learn on their own end. And that's done through some examples or a self-assessment. So we do our DMI, but it would basically be like having a DMI on the website that they can do themselves rather than it having to come through us. Self-selection could be an online quiz where they answer a couple of questions and then it provides a option or two of which service videos may work, which service selections or packages may work best for them.
He's frozen, right? Am I the only one?
Okay, yeah. Here. Oh,
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm gonna connect to my phone hotspot and go from there.
gonna drop me the link to your presentation. Drop it in the Zoom chat.
The coffee shop has a no lunch and learn policy. They found you guys out. Like, nope.
Go back.
So while they're figuring that out, I got a joke for you guys.
Oh my God.
Wonderful.
What do you call an old person with really good hearing? Deaf defying. Eh? And
Eh?
some of the people heard this one this morning, so sorry if you've heard this one before, sales team, CSM team, etc. Um, what does it sound like when a nut sneezes? Cashew.
Uh,
All right, Caroline's back.
Oof.
Thank
thank
you.
God.
Thank you for the comedic relief.
Yes, thanks, JR. Um, So back to the self-service tools. These are tools that are on your website to help people kind of self-identify, self-qualify themselves. Um, and as you'll know, we already give people the option to book their own discovery call and get that scheduled. So we already have a self-scheduler. And we also already have our marketing budget calculator, which is some version of a self service tool. And this quarter, we'll be implementing a grounded AI chatbot so that people can go onto our website and basically interact with us like they're asking a pro. Um, and that'll be another example of a self-service tool. Selling in a way that others aren't willing to sell also includes assignment selling, which, long story short, because I go into it more in a couple slides, is having the content that you're creating implemented in throughout the sales process and in either written content or videos to better educate and qualify the customer as they're going through their sales process. So you're telling them about the services and about the cost and why things work and the who, what, when, where, why, how of our company and our services while they're in the sales process so that they're learning as they go because they might not know what questions to ask. So we're basically giving them information that we know they need even if they don't know that they need that information. We know they need that information. Next is, I think the fourth one is be human in ways others aren't willing to be human. Um, we talk about know, like, trust a lot in all of our marketing, our classes, and to our clients. So the idea here is just continuing with know, like, trust. Hopefully, as I'm going through this, y'all can kind of see that this naturally fits into our company and our culture anyways. It's very unnatural fit for us. And so being human in ways others aren't willing to. I pulled some examples that are strictly from our social media, but if you go look at our customer reviews or listen to what clients are saying in the Great News channel or anything like that, you know, and can see that we are more human than other people. And we never leave that human behind. We care about our clients, we care about our team, and we care about the industry. And so, and we show that in our marketing and in our actions. Next are the components of TAYA and endless customers. And am I good? Okay. That includes having the right content, the right website, the right sales activity, the right technology, and the right culture of performance. This graphic comes from them, so you can see kind of how they work together in a cycle of sorts. And then I'm going to go over each one briefly. So for content and website, it just means that you're committed to producing high quality, transparent, and disruptive content. Disruptive, not meaning like raunchy or inappropriate or anything like that, but just disruptive in the sense that other people aren't talking about it. They're not willing to, and you're not afraid to disrupt the flow of normal conversations happening in your industry, and you're not afraid to like throw that wrench in, for lack of better terms. And then as far as a website goes, having the right website from the specific endless customers learning is that the right website is a website that you control, which we have that, a frictionless experience, which I think we have that as well, and we're always working to improve it. A learning center, which y'all saw got launched last quarter too. Y'all saw a video from that in our newsletter a couple weeks ago. Clear messaging, self-service tools, and like I said, continuous improvement. So we don't have every single one of these 100% right now, but we're continuously working towards it, hence the TAYA roadmap. The right sales activities means that the sales team is participating in the content creation. Again, the sales team, a lot of department heads, CSMs have all sat in blog interviews with me to get content and be involved in the content creation process. It's having a documented sales process followed by all, which kind of ties into EOS. We all have our processes documented and followed by all. Assignment selling is integrated into the sales process as well. This is one of JR's rocks this quarter he's working on. And again, this culture of continuous improvement. And over here on the right, y'all can just see an overview of what an assignment selling content map looks like. So if this is the automation basically that somebody's in high level, they book their appointment before they have that first call, they're getting some sort of what to expect on this call video. After that call, they're getting some sort of assessment tool. They have another call, a buyer's guide, their agreement, and then their onboarding guide. So that's not 100% the specific roadmap we have plugged in, but JR is working on that this quarter, and we have some of the content created already. And so, again, in process. And that's what assignment selling is, to help pre-qualify, pre-educate customers. The more confident and comfortable our customers are, the more they know about marketing and why they need what they need, the better customers they're going to be. It's kind of like help them help us. And lastly, in this area is the right technology and culture of performance. So having the right technology is having centralized data in a CRM. As y'all know, we use Go High Level and Breeze/ClickUp as we're moving towards that. Having the team who uses these tools properly using them and maintaining accountability on it. Having AI guidelines set for the company. Everybody signed that AI use policy, which goes into, again, training your team on AI and creating a culture of AI and technology experimentation. So this is not something, when we say that we're working on TAYA and implementing this, and it's one of our main marketing strategies, y'all can see that it's not just a marketing strategy. It ties very closely into sales. It ties closely into the rocks that the whole team is creating on a quarterly basis, for making ourselves better, expansion, following in with the shield and our core values of getting better, adapting, staying on top of new things, and just expanding, for lack of better terms. It only works as a whole if we're all working together for it, even if it's not conscious in your mind that you're saying, oh, I'm doing this because of endless customers, because it fits so naturally into our company and the way we do things, that you're likely doing a lot of these things anyways. And lastly is what's next for us. So this is the full endless customers journey that they provide from their website. But what I've done, and you can see the scores there, is that they have a self-scoring tool. But last July, we had our alignment day with the leadership team and CSMs going over what our direction was for this, how it was going to look to put this together for us, and what content was going to start being created. And in those first Q3 and Q4 last year, I had rocks very specific to not assignment selling, sorry, to endless customers and TAYA, that tied into this, as did some of the other people on the team, and they continue to do that. I have a document that I think I've tagged everybody with in the past, but I can reshare it, that has what our timeline looks like basically, because this 3, 6, 12, 18, 24 doesn't work perfectly for us. So I adapted it to what works for us, to tie in the other aspects and other marketing strategies and efforts and just company objectives that we're working on. But I've been asked recently, like, why are we creating so much content? Are we still going to create so much content? Like, are we stopping this? Are we ramping it up? And the whole idea of this is content production. So we will continue to do that. And this is why, and there's a plan in place for it. So that is all I have today. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see if anybody has questions.
If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Everyone is like overly quiet today. It's freaking me out a little. Out of 42 of you guys.
So I don't have a question because I'm super familiar with this process, and I follow Marcus Sheridan as well. But my favorite examples are whenever these they ask you answer tactics show up on reports for clients, specifically for blogs. For instance, Branch Automotive is a great example where there's a specific light that pops on for diesel trucks, and they told us that this is a common thing that breaks on trucks, and then we produced a blog about it, and to this day it's still one of their most high performing blogs. So that's just like one example of how we put this into play for clients.
Yeah, it's definitely not just S&P specific. It's something we've been saying and doing for a while for clients, and we just like fully dove into it last year as one of our main marketing objectives for S&P. And those of y'all on our website, Brian wrote an article probably over a year ago now about who are the best auto repair shop marketing companies and listed all of our competitors and listed us. And we have clients or leads and that become clients that found us because they searched that blog. And because that type of conversational content, answering those questions comes up on AI overviews as well. So it's people finding us through AI or through Google because they searched that. And even though we listed every single one of our competitors on that blog too, they end up on our webpage. And so they book with us because they're like, well, they're disruptive. They're not afraid to talk about this. Like, that's kind of cool. I want to go with them.
Any other questions, comments, concerns, feedback, comments for Caroline on the TAYA method? Andrew, I think I see your hand going up.
Yeah, so one thing that stood out to me was there was a part in there that said frictionless process. And so, I'm constantly thinking about how to get to the onboarding as frictionless as possible. So that made me think about that. That was, that's something that we as a company culture want to really highlight. And so that was, for me, I don't really have a question about it, but I just did want to say that kind of like sparked an idea in my head. So I appreciate you putting all of this together.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, that frictionless process, quote unquote, is where JR is the one who first brought it to us from Seven Figure Agency and the idea of endless customers, where the onboarding specialist position kind of first came about and started getting talked about. So our onboarding specialist position was created as a result of endless customers as well. And also I know a lot of you aren't aware of how we used to do kickoff meetings, but some of you are. But it was a very, very, very long, extra thorough process, and it all is kind of born out of the idea of they ask you answer, asking those in-depth questions to get all of the in-depth information for the client to produce the content pieces that is needed for TAYA for our clients. I know Michelle used to thoroughly explain what TAYA is and why we use it in the kickoff meeting. So it's really helpful, particularly in the SEO section, also the website section too, since we're going to be writing that custom content. It all comes from a place of TAYA. So, all right. If there are no other comments, thank you again, Caroline, for teaching about this, especially last minute. And this recording will, of course, be. JSL, did you have a question? Okay. This recording will be uploaded to YouTube as well. Revisit it. Don't forget that it's there as well. And I hope you all have a really great lunch and a really great week. And thanks again, Caroline.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.